Good morning, children. So, we are starting this last chapter. So, this will be the last chapter of your class 3 EVS, and this is a oral based chapter. So, we will be doing the exercises in the textbook only, and we are only going to write the hard words from this chapter. No question answers will be asked in the written exam, but of course the environmental sensitivity exam, which is going to be held today, and there you have to study this chapter for that exam, because those chapters which are in the activity or in the project will be asked in the environmental sensitivity. So let's start chapter number 15, pottery. Early human who lived thousands of years ago hunted animals and gathered plants for food. Okay, so early humans, they used to hunt the animals and plants. Okay, they used to hunt and they used to collect the food from plants. Now slowly they learned to grow food by farming. They needed to store this food safely and protect it from the pests and animals. How did they do this? They started making containers such as straw baskets. They would then cover these baskets with the mud and clay. However, these containers were not very strong. Soon, people learned that if they baked clay pot and containers in fire, they would become much stronger. Okay, when it is a clay, means only clay without baking, then it's a kacha matti, no? So it will break. But when you bake it, just like we bake our, in the summer we use that pot for keeping the water, or in Diwali we use the diyas. Even if they are baked, they fall. If they fall, they break, even if it is baked. So after baking, it becomes very strong. Then they learned how to bake it, or how to make it more stronger. The first they learned how to make the basket, then they covered it with the clay, and then they started baking it. Okay, now at first people shaped pots and containers by hands. With the invention of wheels, they started using the potter's wheel to make pots in different shapes and sizes. They began to color and decorate these pots with lovely designs as well, and this process is followed to make pottery even today. Okay, so just understand what would have happened if people did not have anything to store food and water in. How they would have stored the water. That's how they learned to make this. First those pots were made, those vessels, ghada, those were made to keep the water, children. Okay, otherwise, the plastic bottles, the steel bottles, they came very very late, later now. But in those days, only those clay pots were there. So how pots are made? Preparing the clay. First, clay is dug out of the ground. They used to take out the clay, mud. It is then mixed with water and left to settle. Okay, they mix it with the water and they leave it to settle down. Means they soak the mud. When the excess water has evaporated, it is then stored in a room to prevent it from drying up until it is just right for the potter to work with. So they need a proper, consistency they need. They don't need very hard, they don't need very soft. So first they soak it, then they leave it to evaporate the excess water, and then when it is perfect, keep it in their room. Otherwise, if they keep that outside, it will become more and more dry. No, water will keep evaporating and it will become more dry. So they keep it inside the room so that it doesn't dry. Okay, and then when the pot is ready, then they start making it. Okay.